up, what up? This is the man of the hour, Leo Rush, and you are watching THS Wrestling.
What's going on, everybody? How's it going? Happy Tuesday. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Hope everybody had a great Halloween. Thomas, what's going on? Kat, what's going on? This is THS Wrestling presents That Wrestling Show. King Sammy has arrived. He is here. He has arrived.
Sam.
I'm ready. I'm ready for it. Thanks for everybody for joining us. My name is John, and I am joined today by the Wrestling Classic. Justin, what's going on, my friend?
What is going on? Not much, man. I'm just hanging out in parts unknown. I'm not at my usual home base right now, but I made it for the show. I'm repping my girl Carmella. Shout out to Carmella.
There you go.
Happy engagement and happy belated birthday. Happy birthday to Amber Nova today too. Birthday shout out to everybody.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Fred Rosser. A lot of Scorpios. A lot of my people.
It's also he doesn't watch the show, but it's my dad's birthday as well.
Oh, yeah, happy birthday to your dad. It's my birthday in 2 days, guys. So be hyped.
No way. November birthdays.
Look
at that. Thomas does not celebrate Halloween because of his religious background. Thomas, I am interested in that, but that is a story for a different time. Everybody, thanks for joining us. We got a lot of stuff to attend to, including one thing. Liv Morgan just tweeted it out. She just tweeted out the picture of her and Bex standing next to one another. We're gonna get to that in a minute here.
Oh wow!
So that should be interesting. But the first thing we're going to talk about today, also, you guys are probably watching us on YouTube, youtube.com/that#show TV. Probably also maybe watching us on Twitch, twitch.tv/that#show, or on Facebook, facebook.com/THS Wrestling News. If you are watching us on one of those formats, thank you. But also go check out our Instagram that our good friend Justin here helps out with a lot. Instagram.com/THS.wrestling. Go check it out and give us a follow. I think we've hit, right?
We cracked 2,000. We're trying to keep it growing. I'm trying a little bit harder now than I was before. We're gonna post some more reels. We're gonna rock some more stuff out here. And honestly, I was wearing a TWC sweater because I was gonna plug I have new merch up there. But I wore this on purpose because the last video I dropped on that hashtag show's YouTube channel was my top 5 Carmella moments in her career. If you guys don't know, I'm a big fan of Carmella. She's a fan of my page and always supports my stuff. She wore my merch on Total Diva, so I wear her merch when I can. I know I made it myself because WWE Shop doesn't make great merch for her, in my opinion. But check out that video, guys, on that hashtag show's YouTube channel. It's my top 5 Carmella moments, if you haven't checked it out yet.
Yeah, check it out for sure, guys. I'm kind of torn about our first topic because it is, when I first heard it, I was very sad. And it kind of sent shockwaves through at least wrestling Twitter, through the independent world. But ROH announced that they are they're going to be voiding everyone's contract at the end of the year, and they're going to be reevaluating how they do their business. So basically, everyone is going to be released from their contracts. They were one of the only promotions to not fire anyone during the pandemic. They were very vocal about keeping people on, doing shows, which is good on them. I just hope that that's not the reason why we're doing what we're doing now. But it sounds like ROH is evolving again into something else. We don't know what, but at first I was like, this is a bummer. This sucks because there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be out of work, that stuck with Ring of Honor, that signed exclusive deals for Ring of Honor. But it looks like they're going to have a lot of free agents come the end of the year. And we're actually already seeing some people get booked elsewhere it was like, oh, because we know Ring of Honor, for the most part, they're like, you can go do PWG, but that's really all you can do. Well, I mean, now we've seen the Briscoes show up in GCW. Bandito's booked for 3 dates in GCW. Brody Brody King is also booked for So a lot of people are starting to get
GCW, eh?
A lot of GCW. They're going to GCW. They're getting booked in a lot of different places. Justin, what did you think when you first heard this news?
Well, first I was confused because I thought like initially I was like, what are they like shutting down shop? Was like I had to like look into it a little bit more and whatnot. I went in depth about this on the TWC show because I had to run it solo this week and I just rambled on. But I found Ring of Honor a long time ago when I was like 12, 13 years old on TV. I followed it sporadically. I'm not going to sit here and say I followed it religiously, but I went through it, phases of Ring of Honor. I'm a little excited, but also a little confused of what we're going to get in April because they're shutting down shop at the end of the year. Like you said, a lot of people are getting booked places. I think even like Shane Taylor's wrestling, JTG had a promotion in Dallas. Like,
yeah,
we're seeing people wrestling people in different places already before the end of the year. Listening to some other podcasts, what I've heard is that people that contracts were going to run up in this period of time are free to do whatever come April, but people that were meant to be signed to like 2022 might still have to come back when they open shop again. But the question is, are they really going to open shop again? They said they want to be back by Super Card of Honor, which is WrestleMania weekend most of the time. But I'm like, if they're shutting down officially in December, that's what, January, February, like 4 months to reimagine the entire company and get back on track. And we don't really know the reasoning behind all of this happening in the first place either. Is it a financial thing? Is it a television thing? Is it a Sinclair network thing? Because we've been hearing rumblings of things happening with Sinclair in the bigger picture.
Right.
It's intriguing to me. And then also, I don't know if it was rumor or truth, but did you hear like they were already putting out biddings out there for the library? Like that's
I have not heard that.
Okay, I thought I read that tweet somewhere. And I don't know if it was
I've heard rumors, but I didn't hear that it was like a statement of fact. Which that's a library I think anybody would want, because it's just they've been around since I believe 2002. You said you weren't like diehard. I was die.
Well, I watched the Punk Bryan years, the McGuinness years, then I stopped for a bit. Then I remember hopping back in was like Kevin Steen, Scum, and El Generico and Steve Carino guys. Then I dipped back out again. Then it was the whole Bullet Club era. But from my perspective, like that's where I first saw Punk. That's where I first saw Danielson. That's where I first saw Steen and Tyler Black and a lot of the top stars of today. I saw first in Ring of Honor.
Yeah,
like that's what I'm like. If you look at the top of the business right now, like 90% of the people probably went through Ring of Honor. I mean, for me, a lot of the Japanese stars that I know that are big, like a Shinsuke Nakamura, for example, like I first got to kind of see him in Ring of Honor before I went back to start watching New Japan again. Yeah. When people used to ask me a few years ago, like, who are guys that you would think would fit in the WWE? And this is pre-AEW, where people would be like, which guys in the independent scene would you love to see in WWE? And I'd always give two names most of the time. And this was around like 2017, 18. I'd always be like Adam Cole and Marty Scurll, but they were Ring of Honor guys. The last thing I want to say before I throw it back to you is I am super intrigued to see the Briscoes in different environments than Ring of Honor, because I feel like they've been loyal to that company.
They have been loyal.
And I remember them without beards, not looking like they came from the swamp. I love the Briscoes. That's not an insult. I actually like them. I like the way they look now too. But I'm saying I've seen them before that. And now to see them in other places, it'll be cool.
I remember when they were not of age to wrestle, both of them. And then I believe one of their, they had a tribute match to one of their friends that had passed away. And that was the first time I ever saw them wrestle a singles match and I went, these guys are insane. And they've been loyal, so they've been around. I mean, I got the roster up. Bandito is, I mean, we thought he'd break out before, and he is fantastic, and it's going to be very interesting to see who maybe bids on him or where he goes and what matches we see. And I mentioned Brody King. I mean, Brody King real tight with Malachi Black.
That's what I thought about right away too. I'm like, those guys already have their thing going on in PWG and other places.
Yeah, so that would be interesting to see on a national stage. We got Dalton Castle, who is multi-talented. He was also a character named Smooth Sailing Ashley Remington. Love Dalton Castle. Danhausen, who unfortunately just broke, I believe, his ankle. So he's out for a little. It might have been his leg. I'm not sure, but
there was a cast on his leg. I don't know exactly where it broke though, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I mean, you got a bunch. You got Dragon Lee. You got Flamita. You've got like the Briscoes. You got Jay Lethal. My personal favorite wrestler, Jonathan Gresham. You got Tony Deppen.
Yeah.
You got a bunch of guys, and not just guys. They also have.
Where do you think Gresham goes? Because Gresham's a catch too, and I know he's one of the top guys right now.
I don't know. There were rumors that he was going to be the leader of Dark Order before Brody came in. Like the videos he was filming were very in line with what they were doing. Oh, broken tibia and fibia.
So the stuff, the bones in the leg.
Jeez. But also, I mean, they ROH just started building up their women's division, and they just had a tournament for their
I was going to
title.
bring that up. They just started doing the women's division,
and it's just like, man, they and I know they. Oh, Roosh too. Oh my god.
Yeah, I was going to bring up Roosh too because I'm like, you said that Brody King would be great with Malachi or Roosh and Andrade together. Just that adds to that as well.
Los Ingobernables back together. And I mean, who else? We got Tracy Williams is great too. They got a lot of talent, and it's going to be very interesting to see where all of this talent goes. And to your point, when you talk about like, I don't know what it's going to look like in April, I have a feeling it's going to look like 2002, where
starting from scratch.
Yeah, basically. I mean, I assume, like you said, some of the people that are signed through 2022 will probably, contractually want to go back. And like you said, the Briscoes have been loyal since day one. So maybe they just go back out of loyalty. So I don't know, but it's going to be interesting.
From what I've heard from the Briscoes, they don't like the road life, like that style of road life. They like their farming. And, I've talked to Jay for a good while backstage one time at, I think it was at it was All In. I saw him in All In the hallway.
Oh,
but, and we're just talking and stuff. And I just, I don't know. But I do want to see the Briscoes. I think if the Briscoes are going to go anywhere, if I can just throw this out there, I'd want them obviously do their indie stuff. They can do a bunch of great stuff on the independents for sure. But if they were going to go to any company, I think Impact does have the strongest tag. I mean, AEW has the strongest tag division with tag teams I'd want to see the Briscoes work with.
They do.
If the AEW does anything right, it's a tag division. But I am also one of those people that doesn't want everybody to be signed to AEW because how many more men can you sign to that company?
True. And you know what? I mean, we actually just saw, I mean, this is kind of off topic, but Speedball Mike Bailey signed with Impact. And if you don't know Speedball Mike Bailey, y'all need to go check him out because he's amazing. And that's a great get for them. I think a part of me was like, but at the same time, that's great because he just sat back and did what he wanted to do. And now he's signed with Impact. And that, to me, makes Impact a little more must watch. So maybe, because AEW has so many people on that roster, maybe people start to look at, dude, Speedball versus Trey Miguel.
I just read that.
That would be great.
But Speedball is going to fit in great with the Impact roster. There's a lot of talented people.
Yeah.
I actually watched Bound for Glory and then the Impact that followed. And same with Ring of Honor. I was very loyal to Impact for many years, but now I've been very off and on with it since 2010. But I watched it, I'm like, there's so much talent here too. There's a lot of places to work these days and a lot of wrestlers. And I think sometimes wrestling fans get stuck in this WWE, AEW bubble. But man, go check out NWA, go check out Impact, go check out GCW and PWG and all this. There's so much stuff going on.
Yeah, there's so much.
Yeah.
Even beyond that, there's 18 million. Man, I'm so far behind on wrestling. Oh, geez. But yeah, I hope ROH sticks around. I hope they figure it out. I think it'll have a lot more their champions will be there for a while, and then everybody else will be show by show basis. So basically kind of what it was before.
When do you think they lost the weight? Because I always kind of felt for me, I think it was when AEW became a company. It kind of was a bullet to ROH in a sense. And they kept running.
Show. It was the MSG show, dude.
Yeah, because I remember
straight up
getting media row for that MSG show. I'm like, this will be hyped. It's good. And the advertisements all Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, this, that, and that. And then boom, everyone was all off of it. And it was still a really good show. I got to see Muda, I got to see
dude
Liger, I got to see Matt Taven and all these guys. And it was a great show, but I was like, man, it's not what they expected it to be because these guys just decided they were going to bounce.
I mean, yeah, there was a lot of things that went wrong with that show. I think having Kenny King eliminate Muda and Liger, though it was the biggest heel move of all time, was not the way to start off your show.
Yeah.
And it all like that show ruined their relationship with New Japan.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, absolutely. Just because of the whole Enzo and Cass thing.
Oh yeah, because they just ran in on them. Yeah. But
So
Ring of Honor knew, but New Japan didn't know, right? That's what happened. Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff like that went on during that just was like, that's the downfall right there.
And then New Japan making it kind of a relationship with AEW after the fact.
Yep.
Yeah. I can see that makes sense now. But yeah, like I'm rooting for Ring of Honor. I've been a fan. I'll always respect Ring of Honor. And like I said, majority of your favorite wrestlers today, they went through Ring of Honor.
Absolutely.
Whether it was during the Gabe years or the other years, like it's been Ring of Honor. It's been like,
absolutely.
It was NXT before NXT in a weird way for most of you.
Yeah.
Not NXT 2.0, NXT.
No, yeah, just regular NXT. So we were talking ROH, and a couple of people that went through ROH we're about to talk about right now. We had Bryan Danielson versus Eddie Kingston to move on in the tournament to the finals. Banger of a match. Absolutely loved it. Bryan Danielson is literally just like, he took 4 months off and he still might be my wrestler of the year when it's all said and done.
Was that you that tweeted that? Someone tweeted that and I read it and I was like, you know what?
I saw somebody say that and I was like, let me check and I was like, oh yeah.
Because if you really think about it, even the first half of the year when he was fighting Roman and Edge,
he main evented WrestleMania.
And now he's out here having bangers with Kenny Omega and Eddie Kingston and Suzuki. Like, I don't know.
It's crazy.
Can I also just say I'm really loving the Suzuki US World Tour that he's having right now?
Dude, I got to see him versus Gage at GCW. It was fun. It was great. I think they're going to try and do it again.
This guy's just wrestling. This guy came here and he's just wrestling everybody.
For months. He was just here for months. I think he's back in Japan now. But he was just like chilling, just wrestling everybody. It was great.
I actually low-key was really hoping we get maybe Punk and Suzuki.
Oh my God.
But
what we are getting.
Yeah.
Bryan Danielson ends up winning. We get a backstage interview with Punk. You can hear Eddie Kingston in the background. And as soon as I heard Eddie Kingston, I got hyped, dude, because it looks like we're headed towards CM Punk versus Eddie Kingston down the road. I would assume at Full Gear. I'm hyped for this. Two of the best on the mic. This gets me excited. And I just, what are your thoughts here? What did you think? I mean, it was a brief segment, but a lot was said. Yeah. I know you. And I know it's going to expound in the weeks to come. But what do you think of CM Punk's next opponent being Eddie Kingston?
I've been saying this the entire time that, like, I'm happy that Punk's here and he's having matches with people and they're great matches and it's great that he's back, but I need something of CM Punk that I can sink my teeth into. And we're getting closer to Full Gear, so he needs a legitimate opponent for the show. And I think Eddie Kingston's a great opponent for him to have. And I think it'll let us see a different side of CM Punk that we haven't seen yet in AEW. I think Eddie Kingston can get under his skin. Eddie Kingston can bring something out of him because, like you said, they're both great talkers. The promos leading up to this match, if it is what we're getting for Full Gear, I hope it's not just one of the matches when we get on a Rampage and a Dynamite and move on. I hope it's for Full Gear. I'd be hyped. And sometimes people are like, oh, Eddie Kingston's been buried, or they're not, he's here, but he's not. I'm like, yo, this guy's wrestled Bryan, he's wrestled Omega, he's wrestled Moxley, he's wrestled the Young Bucks, he's wrestling Punk now. I'm pretty sure he had a match with Suzuki. I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure he did. I'm like,
he had a tag team match, yeah.
This guy's in AEW and he's wrestling everybody. He's living the dream.
Yeah.
If I hear anybody else saying, "Oh, they're misusing Eddie King," you're wrong. They're using him perfectly fine, and he's killing it.
I agree, but I guess my question to you in the chat is: should Eddie win this match?
I don't think that's the person Punk loses to.
No,
not yet.
So you think
Eddie doesn't need it? Eddie, and
okay.
I know that's like a weird theory because there's a lot of places where you can say someone doesn't need it, but like. He really doesn't. Like, Eddie Kingston's going to be Eddie Kingston regardless of the fact. And also, a little side note, I feel like him and Moxley are both slowly turning heel. And him losing will help him in that progression to lose his mind a little bit more.
Yeah, you'd mentioned that to me in before, we had a little conversation just deciding what we were going to talk about. So you think that we're getting they're turning, both of them are going to be turning heel?
I feel like it, because I feel like Kingston can talk about his issues and his problems with depression, but they only lose so many times until it makes him lose his mind. And we've seen, look what Moxley just did to Preston Vance 10. He just left him bloody and beat him up. And my biggest thing about Moxley, and I was saying this before, not too long ago, is like, when Punk came in and Bryan came in and Adam Cole came in, and now everybody's like AEW. I'm like, there's a perfect story for Moxley. I came here before it's cool to be here. I held this place down during a pandemic. You guys all waited till fans came back. Like, there's so much you could say. When I came to AEW, nobody believed in this company. You guys waited a year to see how much success they'd have and then came. Like, there's a story there. Moxley can say him and maybe Jericho were the first Crusaders to actually believe in this company and come here.
So you think, but do you also think that we are getting a little more heelish Moxley for the possibility that he is the first challenger for, I mean, they got to pull the trigger on Hangman here.
Yeah, like if we're gonna be realistic, we all think that the end of the really good, one of the best stories AEW ever told is that Hangman beats Omega and finally gets that belt. Hangman's gonna need opponents that are bad guys. Moxley is a great opponent for a babyface Hangman.
I am going to openly weep when Hangman wins that title.
That's the best story. I
is.
complain about their poor storytelling sometimes. I'm like, they have some long-term stuff and then they have some stuff they just shotgun. The Hangman story is the best story AEW has told.
Oh my god.
Conception.
And then especially when you add the Dark Order string to it as well.
Do you think that the finals is going to be Moxley versus Danielson for the elimination tournament? And then I think Moxley wins, and that's fine if that's Danielson's first loss. And then you can have Danielson and Omega without the belt there, and you can have Hangman versus Moxley for Revolution.
Yeah, and it looks like Mike also says he's Mox cheating against Dragon to win would get nuclear heat. I agree with that. Yeah, I think that's where we're headed. It makes sense that he would start being a little more heelish now instead of it just being like a snap, like I'm a heel now because everyone loves you, Hangman.
And the perfect person to bring up those points about, I was here since day one. You just walk in here and think you can, is Bryan Danielson. You walked in here, just got a title shot with Kenny Omega or a match against him. And I think it's gonna be a great story. The road to full gears when they come out and stuff will be cool, and we get to know what the finals are and stuff. So yeah,
it's gonna be great. Speaking of title contention, let's move over to Monday Night Raw. We had a little backstage interview with Becky Lynch, and she was talking about Bianca Belair and kind of just running her down and saying, maybe we should get somebody new in here. She's got to go to the back of the line. We got to get somebody new in here. And then we pan over, and who should appear but Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan doesn't say anything, just kind of stares at Bex, and then Bex goes, I believe she legitimately goes, and walks away. My question with this is great, but I feel like we've done a lot of stops and starts with Liv, and I feel like there's also been a quote out there that Becky has said like Liv is a future champion.
When Becky was leaving, she hugged Liv and she said, "You'll be champ by the time I get back."
You'll be champ by the time I get back, which has not happened.
Never happened yet.
So, look, we love Liv here. We think she's great. We think she should have been champion by now. I'm excited because this is a new match. Do you think it happens, or do you think this is just another person to build up Becky Lynch?
I'm a Liv fan. I'm personally a fan of Gianna, the person too. She's dope. I just don't think this is it. What I think is happening, we're going to talk about the other thing probably right after this, but like, I feel like the same thing happened on the Blue brand as what's happening on the Raw brand. There's a similarity there. We thought we were going to go into this new era of SmackDown with Charlotte and Sasha because they were the two main players. And I think we thought going into the Raw, we were going to go with Bianca and Becky and just continue that. I feel like they realized that they only had so many people on top on both shows that were serious contenders. Don't get me wrong, Raw still has like Rhea and others, and then SmackDown has like Shayna and others. But
Yeah,
like they realized they probably had to build new stars. Hence why we saw a shotgun of Shotzi, which we'll get to, and then a shotgun of Liv over here. I'm just kind of concerned if this is a situation because just give Liv the opportunity for a title match. She deserves it. It's long overdue. It's a little confusing because she like lost to Carmella twice before approaching Becky for a match. But like I get it. Liv is really popular. She's popular.
yeah. She got a pop when they showed her. A big
fans
pop.
love her. Like she has a following. I always say I just kind of don't understand what her character would be personally. If I was hanging out with a casual fan, like I don't know how to explain who Liv Morgan is, but
that's what Nikki says in chat.
Yeah,
Liv needs a character.
But like I said, like I know Liv personally. She's always been nice to me. She's cool. I love Gianna the person, and I want her to win the women's title. But I don't think this is the time. I think she loses, and then we get some character development where she comes back for that title down the road. And the only reason I'm saying that really quickly is because we're heading into Survivor Series, and this is the whole brand versus brand thing. So I feel like they're just doing this for like a Raw match or something. Because I feel like by the time we get to that, because there's no December pay-per-view, remember that. We're going to wait to the January 1st pay-per-view. And I feel like by January 1st, you got to go back to Bianca and Becky.
Right. Well, okay. So here's the thing, because I do want to address this comment. But do we just put the belt on Liv so she can ultimately be defeated by, I assume, Charlotte, and then Becky gets
at Survivor Series.
At Survivor Series.
Okay, yeah.
Because if those two get together again, I don't know what's gonna happen.
Charlotte looks like she could eat Liv. That's a problem.
Right. But I mean, I guess that also goes to like this comment from Nikki. She's not a believable champion. I feel like anybody is a champion if I don't know if you know this. I don't know if you know this, Nikki. But we had someone in the comments tell us a long time ago that they can make anyone champion. I don't know if you know this. No, but I feel like they can make her a believable champion. I just want to know why, Nikki, if you could elaborate on that, why you think she would not be a believable champion. And Justin, do you agree with that?
I don't think she wouldn't be a believable champion, but I think the way that she wins it would have to be more. Either there needs to be more build to it, and I don't know when the match is going to happen. If they're going to build this up for a few more weeks and we get some like passionate, empowered underdog promos, then maybe I'd believe it more. Because like I said, I don't really know Liv's character. She's been around. She's been beefing with Carmella. I didn't like that Carmella is calling herself the most beautiful girl, but like that's not really a character.
Right.
Like, it's just, so like if they build us up with some more underdog heavy promos about something, then maybe they'll be like, holy smokes, she snuck away that title Becky Lynch. She beat her. Or I always said this before, and I think they missed the ball with it. I'm like, Liv would have been perfect with the Money in the Bank briefcase because I would believe her cashing in and winning it that way. But I don't. I just like her straight up going in there and just beating. It kind of reminds me of like when Zelina, and I love Zelina, this whole Queen Zelina thing, but she was in the ring with Rhea this week, and she was like looking up at Rhea.
Yeah.
I'm like, I wouldn't believe that Zelina could just beat Rhea, but because she's a heel, she could cheat and do it. Whereas with Liv, she's a baby face, and she's supposed to be that underdog baby face, so she can't cheat and win it. So how are we going to get that belt on Liv in a more realistic way unless they build her up as this passionate underdog, this kind of Daniel Bryan story? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no.
I don't see her going in there beating Becky Lynch. She just lost to Carmella twice in a row.
Yeah, that logically doesn't make sense. Everyone can't be champion. I disagree with that. Brian Kendrick was WWE champion, albeit for a little over a minute, but anybody can be champion. I disagree with that. I don't necessarily disagree with we don't know who she is. I think that's a very good point. And I would be like, we don't know who you are. We're not going to put a belt on you. That makes more sense.
But the fans connect with her, so there's something.
They love her.
If I was in the office, I'd be like, okay, I get it. She has a huge following. There's something there. Her merch sells. People love her. Like she has all the support from the fans. They pop for her. So how do we capitalize on this? Okay, we'll put her in that position. Let's see if she can roll with it. And I think that's what they're doing. They're going to see if she can roll in this position right now. But I hope during this feud with Becky, we somehow get to know Liv Morgan more, her motives, what
That would
she
be
really
great.
wants, like why this means so much to her. And they've changed her so many times in the past few years. Like she was Riot Squad Liv, juvenile delinquent, tongue sticking out, to remodeled Liv, who had a relationship with Lana, back to Riot Squad, and now she's kind of like finding herself. We'll let her find herself for us on screen and let us find out who Liv is. And then, yeah, I can see it happening if we get to know who Liv is. But that's my biggest argument. I don't want it to be a situation where like we're giving her the belt because the fans like her and Becky wanted her to be the champion. Like, no, give me a story, give me a boyhood dream story. Like
boyhood dream. Oh man, HBK gear at Mania. Let's go.
Yeah, maybe have Liv lose and somehow she ends up in a triple threat at WrestleMania. Like, Brian, just give me a story. Let her win the Rumble somehow. And you're like, oh my God, how is she get a second shot? Like, just give me some sort of story before you just give her a belt.
I don't think that's necessarily always the case. Do you think that's
Goldberg,
always the case?
Goldberg was a multiple-time world champion.
that is not always the case. But I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I get where you're coming from. I think Rumble win should be where it is for her. I think that would be.
Let me ask you this really quickly because I know we're probably going to go to SmackDown side in the women's division, but
yeah,
what happens to Bianca now? Because my thing is like I also don't think Bianca should fully be out of the title picture. It doesn't feel.
I don't think she should either.
So it doesn't feel right, and I feel the way that Becky talked about her after beating her was kind of disrespectful. Because like if she's not going to be in the title picture no more, you're just saying she's beneath me and not on my level. No, she needs to be back in that title picture and kick your ass.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they just want to give it a breather because it's like, a lot of the time it's like, oh, we're seeing this match again.
Yeah.
Maybe they just want to give it the breather.
And that's what I was saying. Because like Survivor Series is obviously going to be kind of a write-off brand versus brand pay-per-view. That's why I was like maybe we'll get back to Bianca Becky for the January 1st pay-per-view. But what does Bianca do in that spare time now? Does she like coach Liv or something? Like what do we do?
I don't know. That would be awful. I would hate that. That doesn't. Yeah, who does she work a program? Well, I mean, like you said, Survivor Series is coming up, so maybe she just leads the team.
That's true. And before we move to SmackDown, I really do like the pairing of Zelina and Carmella. I think they have really great chemistry together.
Oh yeah,
and Zelina's fake English accent and Carmella just being Carmella. And I know it's very diva era-ish storyline, like that backstage segment from high school. But we have serious storylines for the title feud. Let's have a little fun with this one. And Rhea and Nikki Ash, like Nikki Ash isn't really that serious either, guys. So like it's a good little feud. And the match was kind of funny because like the size differences, like Rhea's a monster compared to like Carmella.
Yeah.
And so it's good stuff. So yeah.
Oh yeah. All right, let's move on over to SmackDown. We had Charlotte, and I know this picture's from Raw, guys. Calm down. I realized it after the fact. We had Charlotte cut an interview. We had or a promo, and then we had Sasha Banks come out. And then we had, surprisingly, again, this almost the same thing that Becky said. We need some, you got enough. You've done, we need somebody new. And out comes Shotzi. Don't call me Blackheart.
Don't call me Blackheart.
And Shotzi has a match with Charlotte. What a still.
Oh, wow.
Ultimately, Shotzi loses.
I mean, you don't waltz into the main roster and beat the queen. I know we have different feelings about Charlotte.
Oh, we don't anymore.
Oh, okay.
Dude, I'm on this train now.
Oh, you're on the train now. Okay, good.
I'm on the train.
Like, you don't just walk onto the main roster and beat Charlotte Flair. That's not how it works. You might have to win a Money in the Bank to do that and sneak up on her, like mostly everybody else. But
then after the bell, Sasha tries to check on Shotzi, and Shotzi lays her out and says, "This is all your fault. This is your fault." And after the fact, because it was like, why, Shotzi? Why did you do that?
Why, Shotzi, why?
Why? She says
she lost her Blackheart.
Yeah, she lost her Blackheart or gained it back. I don't know. She says, "I'm fed up playing in simple. I'm done being the happy and easy-go-lucky Shotzi. I've been screwed over on title opportunities, over title opportunities. My tag partner left me. I came here wanting to have fun, and you know what? This hasn't been fun at all. So she says Sasha was my breaking point, and now she's my target. I'm not letting anyone walk over me anymore. I'm ready to run over everybody in my way. What do you think of heel Shotzi here?
I'm ready to see what it's like. I don't know if she can still come out with the tank. That seems very babyfishious, but I'm really crazy to see what it's like.
Yeah. I think you got to ditch the tank.
I think she's got to ditch the tank. But other than that, like, I'm with it. And I didn't see it coming. And that's the best when you don't see it coming, you know? I thought, like, okay, I actually went in there. I was like, oh, Sasha's going to help Shotzi win this. And Shotzi's going to win over Charlotte. Big deal. But I was completely wrong. And then it kind of seemed like Sasha kind of cost Shotzi the match in a weird way. And we went into this thinking we're going to go straight into Sasha versus Charlotte, the same way I said I thought we're just going to stick with Becky and Bianca. But no, they added a third wild card human in the match that I didn't even see coming. I had no idea Shotzi was going to come out there. And it worked off perfectly of the drama from the week before in the promo where Sasha came out there and she's like, well, you don't give women in the back opportunities. And you know, Charlotte's like, I already faced you. Who else is out there that wants an opportunity? Now came Shotzi, and I was like, oh, this is cool. We're building more women on this brand, and it's I'm looking forward to see heel Shotzi. And I didn't hear that promo. That must have been on Talking Smack or whatever.
I think it might have been Talking. It was Talking Smack. It was Talking.
So like that even intrigues me even more because now it seems like we're not even going with a Shotzi Charlotte feud. We're going Shotzi Sasha, and I'm hyped for that.
That's great.
You know,
that's a great intro feud for her.
Yeah.
As a singles competitor, and then it also again frees up Charlotte to just have her.
That's so intriguing now, and I don't want to dismiss Charlotte's promo because there was a lot of drama last week after that whole belt exchange, and you can't dismiss the fact that Charlotte came out there and addressed it, winked at the camera, made fun of the other girls in the back, kind of referencing that promo, like, oh, when the other girls win a title, it's all like, yay, oh, we're so happy for you, won a championship, hugs. And then when I win a title, it's just like, oh, Charlotte won again, because that's the picture they painted. Charlotte's the big evil woman on the roster that gets everything and wins all the time, so it's not a big deal. But when everybody else wins, it's a big deal because it really has, like, there really isn't anything left for Charlotte to do in the WWE. Let's be real, there isn't. No, she can win a Money in the Bank, but she doesn't need that to get an opportunity. She is the opportunity. So what? Like, and after all the crap people talked about her all week, and she came out there and cut a scathing hot promo like that. Like, props to her. Props to Charlotte.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's doing great. Backstage hates her. Everybody tries to fight her. Nobody wants to work with her. What's the first thing she did? She worked with Shotzi Blackheart.
Yeah, right. It's crazy, but I think, this also frees up Charlotte for Survivor Series so she can concentrate on the champ versus champ.
You're right. She doesn't need an opponent. They have the champ versus champ thing.
So I'm very interested to see, like, do we have our Shotzi and Sasha on the same team? Do we milk this even longer? Like, maybe they have a match, then they have to get along, and maybe Shotzi makes it so Sasha gets eliminated from SmackDown, and then we have a longer feud so Charlotte can just
be Charlotte,
search for that new opponent.
Well, I mean, eventually Sonya's gonna have to fight Naomi herself, and she's gonna owe Shayna a favor, and I think the favor she owes Shayna is a title shot.
It has to be. Absolutely.
And I think was it this show or was it my show? But I tried to make long-term predictions, or maybe it was just a live stream. But I was like, what are your guys' long-term predictions for WrestleMania? Because I'm like, if you asked me last year around this time, I already thought that Bianca would win the Rumble and get Bianca and Sasha. Like, I already had that thought in my mind. And then I thought I'd get Rhea Charlotte too. That's what I thought.
Right.
If you ask me right now, I'm like, I think the money's with Shayna versus Charlotte at WrestleMania and finally giving Shayna that big win. And if you're going to beat anybody, it's Charlotte Flair.
You think Ronda comes back by then?
I don't know. But even if Ronda comes back, doesn't Ronda need to beat Becky? Not sure.
I mean, you know what? That is actually the last time we saw her.
And so that pinfall that everyone calls controversial, because it didn't seem like Ronda's shoulders are both down.
Yeah. You know what? That's actually a good point.
Yeah. And even
and then you have both. You have 2 horsewomen versus 2 horsewomen in singles matches for championships. I mean, it's not the 4 horsewomen versus the 4 horsewomen, but it's something.
But I mean, at that point, I wouldn't want Becky and Ronda to be for the belt.
You'd want it just to be a feud, just a match.
Yeah, I want Bianca to have the belt back by then. I feel like I feel really weird about Bianca on Raw right now. Like it's just not clicking the same.
It doesn't feel right.
She just seems like she's the blue brand. Like she was meant for that blue brand. And
Yeah.
now on Raw, it's like already after that loss to Becky, I'm like, we're moving on to Liv and Becky. Like what? Like I already feel like she's lost in the shuffle. And it's because you think on the 3-hour show you would have a harder time getting lost in the shuffle, but I feel like everybody gets lost in the shuffle on Raw. We can talk about the men's main event right now too if you want, because even that's confusing to me with Seth, Big E, and Kevin Owens.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that and the segment. So you will have to speak on the main event because I only saw the segment.
Okay, perfect. Because I didn't watch the segment; I watched the main event.
So we had a segment with Seth Rollins saying, "I've got a title shot." Big E comes out and says, "Oh, you want a title shot? Let's do it now." And Seth Rollins, again, on a different level right now. I'm loving everything he's doing. He is just like a zany comic book villain, and I'm here for it. And he goes, "Oh, you guys really want to see me fight Big E tonight? You'd love that." And then, does the whole, "You're not going to see it." And then out comes old KO. And he cuts a promo. Basically, it was very interesting, Justin.
A little tease, right?
We got a couple of teases within. We got one from him saying, like, whether it's 3 months or 3 years. And we know his contract's up in 3 months. And then in the same, when he entered the ring here, look at this suit. That's Seth Rollins.
Shout out to King Troy, Seth Rollins stylist, because he's.
Oh my god! Big E mentions there can only be one face of Raw, and looks at KO and says, "This isn't Mount Rushmore," alluding to the group that Owens was in on the Indies with Super Dragon, Adam Cole, and the Young Bucks. So very interesting there. And then we did have KO versus Big E, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And then this is all you know.
No, I mean, it was a good match, and it ended with a weird finish. Seth was out there, and then Owens challenged Seth to a match next week. It's just because the Survivor Series thing throws me off. So Seth's got the title shot, but when is he gonna get the match? It's not going to be a Survivor Series. So does Kevin Owens stay in play till year 1?
I don't know. I have no idea. But we do also have to remember, like, 1 year Daniel Bryan won the title to face Brock.
Because
it was very sudden. It was like he won the title and then he.
No, to your point, because
like that.
Yeah, to your point, because I was gonna say, like, I actually asked that question on my page today on the Wrestling Classic page. I was like, because I've seen it a lot. Well, a lot of people, like, they want Seth versus Roman, which personally, why?
We've seen it,
and they're both at a stage of their career where, like, one, they're both bad guys, which I'm not a big, like, you can do bad guy versus, I mean, Bryan versus Brock was bad guy versus bad guy technically, and that's great. Like, you can do it, and this is your excuse to do it because it's Survivor Series. Like, we had Alexa and Charlotte. They were both bad people at that time too. But, like, there's no, like, yeah, there's always a story there with Roman and Seth. But I think it's cool that they keep themselves apart. Like, even when they were both on SmackDown, I thought it was cool. Like, I just realized it today when I was thinking about, like, man, like, Seth kind of helped Roman retain his title a couple of times during that reign against Cesaro, against Edge. Like, kind of like, well, I mean, he beat Cesaro clean and then Kane beat him up after. But still, like, he was around, and they teased it. But I'm like, we never really needed it. And I think this is Big E's time. You just put the belt on him. Let him shine. Let him face Roman. Make him feel like he can be a top star in that brand. And to do that, you have him face off against Roman and have a dominant showing like McIntyre did last year.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even think, like, I think Big E losing that match doesn't hurt him at all, especially because they'll have shenanigans with the Usos.
100%.
So yeah, I mean, just let us have that match. I think that match is, if you want to, pull the rating for that, I think that's what you do. I think that's a lot better than same old. But what do
why
I
does
know?
Kevin Owens go? Because if he's gone in January, like, is this a last ditch on Owens, or like, because he did make those teases, and honestly, like, once again, I don't want to. I'm gonna say like this, okay? Like, okay, Adam Cole going to AEW was like this really cool, like I was excited for it kind of thing. But he already doesn't feel like the Adam Cole that was in NXT. He feels like a different Adam Cole.
Right.
And I'm not saying I hate it, because he's still good. He's good in the ring. He's good on the mic. He's good when he talks. But he kind of feels like, and I know eventually he's gonna break out of it and he's probably gonna feud Kenny or something. But it's just like he doesn't feel as important as he was. He was the front of the Undisputed Era in a way.
Well, I mean, I think depending on what happens, Full Gear, from what Tony Khan has said, it sounds like it's going to be very interesting storyline wise.
Okay.
So, I mean, we could see Adam Cole kick Kenny Omega out of the Elite. We could see that. Maybe we give Omega a little bit of a break. He comes back and that's the feud. I don't know. That could be it.
I'm just scared to see Owens go there and just be one another. There's a lot of good guys on that men's roster. That's why I keep saying AEW. Like, even the stuff with Cody, Malachi, Pac, and Andrade. I'm like, I like this. I like the stuff with Adam Cole. I like the stuff with Punk and Bryan and Eddie Kingston and Moxley and Jungle Boy and Sammy and MJF and Darby and Sting. Like, there's a lot of people here that are like top tier talent. That's mean. Sammy and Ethan Page had a banger. Like,
God, yeah, dude.
Like, there's a lot of men here, and those two shows. I know there's darks and stuff, but like, there's only like this. At some point, it's gonna start feeling like the WWE did a couple of years ago, where they have so much talent and they don't even know what is happening.
Well, I mean, we'll see. I ultimately think that's what he does, because he wants to, wants to be with his friends. Everybody wants to be with the friends.
They all just want.
I mean, WWE treated KO very well.
Yeah, I don't. Anyone that says elsewise, I know the last year has kind of been kind of weird, but like, you got to remember the start of the year, he was working with Roman.
Yeah.
Like, he was, and he got to wrestle one of his best friends at WrestleMania in a singles match, even though Logan Paul was involved. Check that off the list.
Yeah.
And then I guess he was kind of floundering around for the middle part of the year, feuding with Happy Corbin or whatever. But here we are. He's back kind of in the title picture. And maybe this is their way to try to convince him to re-sign. Like, look, you're in the title picture with Seth and Big E, but put the strap on him and then maybe he'll sign the contract. Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, we will see. Our last topic is an interesting one. We're going to talk about something that's going on in New Japan.
Can I bring up one more thing really quickly before we get to that? If that's the last topic, last kind of WWE note. Have you seen the stuff that Fightful was putting out about Bray or Wyndham?
I think I did, where Vince was like, I don't like him.
He started to dislike him because Bray was really vocal about his creative, and also that Randy and Bray were very unhappy with the booking of what happened at WrestleMania for their match. Isn't that crazy if that's true?
Yeah.
You released and then supposedly, and then the other part was obviously it's up for speculation that a lot of wrestlers are scared now because Bray was one of the top merch sellers and they just let him go, so nobody's really safe. But which is also could be true. I get that, but I just mean wow.
Well,
some people can complain and fight for their spot, and it's like okay, and that's being, competitive and that's competitive nature, and some people can, and it's annoying and you get fired. That's nuts if that's the case.
I will say, if what I'm reading is true, we might be having another very interesting conversation on Friday regarding releases.
Oh wow. From the main company? Oh wow.
If what I'm reading on the internet is true, I believe they report third quarter earnings tomorrow, I think. And then Friday, it's almost, I think it's almost the same thing that happened last year. It's around the same time.
It's already been a year. Wow. You know what, man? All I'm gonna say is this before we go to the New Japan thing is hopefully someone's really. NXT 2.0 is a weird place, Disney Channel NXT, but I will say this: I really like Tony D'Angelo. That guy, maybe because I grew up watching The Sopranos, I'm I love Tony D'Angelo. Like that guy is awesome. He was on Lashing Out today with Lash Legend, and she's great too. Well, man, I'm like, this guy's a character. If they're going back to trying to build characters in NXT, they nailed Tony D'Angelo.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So last topic, we're going to talk about a couple of things Okada has done recently. Kazuchika Okada, he just won the G1. We're not really sure if he was supposed to win it because the match ended abruptly because Kota Ibushi broke his he separated his shoulder real bad, like Finn Balor bad, kind of. I know Finn Balor ended up breaking his, but it looked pretty bad. So Okada won, and he is the G1 champion, and usually the G1 champion carries around a briefcase, much like the Money in the Bank, claiming their stake to challenge for the world title. But Okada traded in his briefcase for a familiar friend.
So I, being unaware of what was happening, I got really excited. I thought they brought the old belt back.
So he basically said he has said a lot of things, and it's very interesting to see New Japan walk this back because Kota was the god. He put the belts together. He put the IC title and the world title together, and then made this less than satisfactory title. And then he ended up losing it very quickly to Will Ospreay. And then ever since then, I feel like, have you ever seen a gif of a guy just falling down a hill and he can't get up and he just keeps falling down? Yeah. It's kind of what it feels. That's kind of what it feels like. We can't get our footing over in Japan.
They're another company that I think also kind of took a weird hit when AEW started. But they've rebounded a lot better. Obviously,
I think Strong is great.
Yeah, they've rebounded a lot better than Ring of Honor did. Not that Ring of Honor didn't rebound great, they did, but like Japan still had its core people with Okadas and the Naitos and the Jay Whites and the people they built there already. But them too, like it kind of felt like they've been trying to figure it out the last two. And the pandemic hurt everybody too. It's not just AEW. The pandemic messed all these companies up. I want that belt back. I know he's holding it as his G1 trophy.
He also said, I don't know if you saw this, he said winning the G1 is more important than the world heavyweight title, like the current title that.
So the way it is, the way it looks, I don't want to hold that.
I don't want to hold it either. So I think what's ultimately going to happen is we're going to undo the wrong and bring back this belt because it's such a great looking belt and the new belt is just not great.
And you got rid of both of the nice looking belts.
Yeah.
Even the IC title, the legacy, the prestige of that belt was built over the years. From MVP to all the people it got to, like it got built. It made stories. They need to bring that back too.
I'm sure they will.
That North America or the United States one, whatever the other title they have, is like that's not the same. It's cool, but it's not the same.
Yeah. I feel like they got to figure out their belt structure a little bit because they do have the New Japan Strong title. So they have a strong title now. So it's like, do you
have those Neverweight division titles?
The Neverweight, I love that belt, and I wish it was bigger.
Taken more seriously.
Than it was. But I mean, hey, hopefully, fingers crossed. Come the next year, we get that new belt.
That comment was kind of funny about Virgil.
Yeah, basically. Very, very true.
Even Ospreay would look cooler with that belt too. So it's not a dig on Ospreay.
Literally everyone would look cooler.
It's a dig at the belt, not Ospreay, by the way. I just want to say that.
No, everybody would look cooler with that belt.
Yeah. It's their big gold. It's equivalent.
Absolutely.
To the
there was no reason
big gold, and we all love that title.
There was no reason to switch it up. Yeah. They had a perfectly good looking title. Just make a new version of it and make it shinier or something. I don't know, but no reason to change it ever.
Wasn't the AEW championship low-key modeled from the IWGP title? Like,
I mean, probably. They look a little similar.
So yeah, a little bit. Like that was like their prototype that they were like, we want something else like that.
You want a big gold belt.
A big gold belt.
All right, let's get on out of here, Justin. This was good. Where can the people find you? What are you doing?
First things first, of course, guys, make sure you follow THS Wrestling. I am posting on there regularly and frequently. Most of the time, you're gonna get results on that page more than you get on my page. My page is random as hell, but THS Wrestling is where you get your results right after shows. The major things that happen, not every little detail, like the things that matter are posted on that page. So if you want to keep up with stuff, and I know a lot of you tell me not to post spoilers, but if you like the spoilers, go follow THS.wrestling and you'll get the results right after and whatnot. Also, make sure you follow me at the Wrestling Classic. All the links for my stuff are in my bio. Check out my articles on 1:37 p.m. I just recently wrote one on Bret Hart's 30 greatest matches, in my opinion. All my articles are in my opinion. Upcoming this month, I'm gonna write my top 10 or my top 10 or 15 favorite people on the mic. Once again, my top 10 or 15 favorite people on the mic. But I'm more than happy to debate.
You always got to put the sport. You always got to tell the people. Like when I do my top 100, I'm like, listen, this is what I watch. I don't really watch any of this other stuff. This is my top 100.
Everything is in my opinion, but I'm more than happy to debate and argue with you guys. That's the fun of it. But I'm just letting you know. So if there's someone missing on there, it's probably because it's not my favorite. But I'm gonna do that article. I'm also gonna do Poly Survivor Series predictions, as well as just my top 10 favorite traditional Survivor Series matches. So I'm gonna go back and watch a bunch of those and be like, well, these ones are my favorite. These are my 10 favorite that you should go check out. So look out for those on 1:37 p.m. Of course, the TWC show every week, usually dropping on Saturdays or Sundays. Just an hour of talking about wrestling, similar to this, man. Just shooting about wrestling, what's going on, and much more. And then, of course, TWCshop.com. You guys can go buy yourself some merch. We got some new crew neck sweaters. Little rip off of the NWO. Some new crew neck sweaters, red and black, white and black, whatever you like. They're all up there as well. And right now, you can get 15% off if you use the promo code TWC2021. And if you sign up to the Patreon as low as $2, you can get free shipping. So guys, check all of that out. But most importantly, make sure you guys follow THS.wrestling and check out that hashtag show's YouTube channel and watch my Carmella video. My top 5 favorite moments from Carmella's career thus far. She's underrated and one of the most versatile people, I think, in the division. Because think about it, whether you want to do funny stuff, you want to be a serious contender, you need her to be someone's opponent for the championship for a couple of months. Like, she will fit the role. She's versatile in her character work. So I'm a fan and she's cool. So yeah, that's me. Justin.
I mean, you did all my plugs. You can follow me on Twitter at JP Thrice. Actually, also follow my Twitch. I've been streaming a lot more. It's twitch.tv/JP Thrice. I paid somebody on Fiverr to make me a bunch of graphics and stuff. So I've got transitions. It looks cool.
Oh, cool.
I'm mostly playing Call of Duty still. Vanguard comes out on Friday. So I'll probably be playing some multiplayer of that. I'm also playing MLB The Show. Those things. That's what I'm doing.
We got to get Neeson on it too, but we got to try to figure out how to make our own universe mode that people can follow along with.
I know.
It'll be so much fun, like our own brands, and then we're like all competing, and people can see what shows are like the best. You can run like SmackDown, I can run Raw or something. These can run NXT. We can just like put on our shows and see what people enjoy the most.
Oh, that would be great, dude. Let's try and figure that out.
We just all Twitch it and put it on YouTube after the fact or something. It'll be a good time.
Oh man, that would be great. We'll absolutely figure that out. All right, guys. So YouTube.com/that hashtag show TV. Twitch.tv/that hashtag show, Instagram.com/THS.wrestling, and there's one that I'm forgetting, Facebook.com/THS Wrestling News. But most importantly, guys, that hashtag show.com for everything trending in geek pop culture. And we'll see you guys